pasa? What's up? Antonio Serrano here, and today I have a magical character just for you. In this case, we are not going to talk about a magical character, we are going to talk about a magical musical. This is something that completely 100% changed my life the very first time that I saw it on Disney Plus. Okay, I never saw this musical live, and I'm talking about Hamilton. I think that still today, to this day that I'm recording this video, it is the #1 musical, talking about sales, talking about expectancy, like people wanted to see it. If you want to book a ticket or something like that, you need to wait for a very, very, very long time. They are extremely expensive, and most importantly, they are worth it. The tickets are extremely important, and they worth every euro, cent, penny, dollar, everything, because it is an outstanding and original musical. And I always tell you that good magicians, original magicians, are the ones that take some kind of influence from things that are not magic related. That makes you more original, and that makes you think outside of the box. So in this magical character series, today we are going to learn 4 different tips, aspects, ideas that we magicians can learn from watching this masterpiece, as it is the musical Hamilton. Let's take a look at the first one. Okay, the very first thing that we're going to talk about is moods, okay? This show has very different moods. It's like every different scene or every different block in this show has a different mood, right? In the first moment we are like feeling brave, we want to go to war, then we feel sad, then we feel brave again, now we go with this character, now we go with the other character. Now we feel like angry, now we feel like we want revenge, now we feel one more time brave because we want another revolution, things like that. There are a lot of moods, and also this is portrayed through the themes. And themes, musically speaking, is the melody that goes with every character. Almost every character in this show has some kind of melody, a theme. Right? For example, when you think about Alexander Hamilton, the main character, the melody is ta 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 ta, which is the name, Alexander Hamilton, right? But Elisha goes, Elisha, and that's the melody for this character. Every different character has a different melody, some kind of theme to it. So every time they go inside, every time they go on stage, it's like, okay, this character is another piece that we add to the mood that we are currently having. We magicians can learn a lot from this, because in our shows, a lot of the times we change from one routine to the other, from one routine to the other, another routine, and the mood is always the same. Like, I am a dark, gothic magician, and the mood is always the same. It's like, yeah, you have a character, and you may have a very well-constructed persona, but now you have to go through something, right? You must have like some kind of hook, and if that hook is always the same or in the same area of feelings, talking about feelings, people are not going to be that interested, right? So it's quite important to have different moods. Like in this trick, we are going to focus more on the magic. In this trick, I'm not going to talk, it's going to be more poetical. This trick is going to be more comedy based, and we go in some kind of trip together with the magician. And I think that very, very few musicals and performances in general could achieve that level of trip compared with Hamilton. It's like unbelievable how you can feel so many emotions in that 2 hour and a half span of time. Okay, let's take a look at the next tip. Okay, I love this next tip. This next tip is that every individual character and the whole play in itself has goals. Goals. We magicians lack goals, I would say, in almost every single level in our performances. It's like every time that I do a trick, I don't have a goal. I am simply doing this because I want to do it, right? And I am performing here for an hour with not a particular goal. I am just here performing because I have to perform. So when you are watching a piece of theater, a musical in this case, and you can see that the play as a whole has a purpose, and the actors, not the characters, the actors that are on stage, they also have a purpose. They want me to learn something. And now the characters, the people that they are playing, they also have a purpose, and they want to achieve those goals. And maybe they do, maybe they don't, but that's the trouble that we are going through with them. So it's a great change to say, okay, I'm going to perform this trick. What is the goal in this trick? And this is something that even Silly Billy talks about for very, very young children shows. Is that if you're performing for kids, like toddlers, it doesn't matter. If you have a goal, kids are going to understand where we are going. If you start doing something and kids don't know the purpose of that routine, they are going to feel bored, right? But if you say to kids, we are going to do this, I love the SpongeBob routine from Craig Petty, you can take a look in the Magic TV YouTube channel from Craig Petty, where he basically says that a SpongeBob is going to change color. And a lot of things happens. The SpongeBob disappears, appears in another place, appears two SpongeBobs, they travel to one place to the other, and eventually the SpongeBob changes color, right? And it is one of those tricks that the first time that I performed it, I was blown away because kids started clapping. A lot of the times when you are performing for very young kids, they are like, oh, that was amazing, but they don't clap because they don't have that social construct inside of them. But when you open up the hand and you show that the ball changed color, they go, ah! Why? Because you establish a goal, we failed, and at the end, we managed to make that goal a reality. Okay, so when I performed that trick, I was like, oh my God, why is this working so well? And I understood why, because we had a goal and we follow that goal until we make it, until we were able to achieve it. So this is exactly the same thing. Every trick, every routine, and the show in itself should have a goal, okay? Another great thing that we can learn from Hamilton. Let's take a look at the next tip. Okay, this next tip is unbelievable, and it is emotions. I would say that 99% of the reason why Hamilton is such a big hit is basically because of the amount of emotions that the musical can extract from you in that amount of time. It is great. And I've talked in the first tip about moods, and moods is what is the feeling of the stage at this moment, right? It has nothing to do with the feeling that you are creating in the audience. You can have, for example, this is something that a movie director here in Spain, Alex de la Iglesia, does brilliantly. And it is to have something on screen that portrays a theme that is completely opposite for the feeling that the spectator is having. Alex de la Iglesia, in an amazing film that he has, La Comunidad, the community, he is portraying like a party in the picture, in the movie. Everyone is having a great time, everyone is having a blast in the party, but because of what is happening in the movie, because of the idea in the movie, the theme in the movie, you feel extremely sad watching that party. So it is great. It's like that combat of the mood in the film right now is celebrating, partying. Almost everyone is extremely happy, but the audience is going to feel extremely sad. Some even are going to feel angry. They will want revenge. Some of them, okay, we need revenge at this point of the movie, right? So there is a difference. There is a difference between the mood on the stage and the feeling that you are evoking in people's minds. So a lot of the tricks that we do, we simply do them because they are amazing. It's like, yeah, I can produce like this very big bottle, I can produce 4 doves and make them vanish, but what are the feelings that we are making people have? There is this old saying that people would forget what you did, people would forget what you said, but people would never forget what you make them feel, right? So the thing is, what are you going to make people feel? Because if you only make people feel one thing, it should be very strong, okay? In most of my show, the only feeling that I go for is laughter. I want people to laugh a lot, like ha ha ha, and they go outside the club like, oh my God, I laugh a lot, this is great. But if I can add more feelings into the mixture, they are going to have like a much deeper feeling that is going to be very difficult to express. And that is exactly what makes people say, you have to see it live. You have to go there and watch the show live. From the very moment when you make people shuffle like 3 or 4 emotions together, and it's difficult even to explain at that present moment, people go, you have to go there, and you have to watch it live. But if you are funny, which is something that happens to me most of the time. Simply funny, people say, oh, he's very funny, I laugh a lot. And people can say, okay, he's funny, okay, I know that he's funny, I don't need any more information. So, a lot of emotions. It is impossible to convey in a 4 or 5 hour lecture all of the emotions that go inside the Hamilton musical. And this is exactly why so many people want to go there. Because even watching the musical at home on the TV through Disney Plus is not enough. It's not enough, okay? So yeah, having a lot of emotions, evoking a lot of emotions out of our spectators is going to be always a plus. Okay, and this is the last tip that we are going to be addressing today about Hamilton. And it is, I love this one, I love this one. It's like a goal that I have in my head, in my mind and in my papers, and I don't know if I would ever accomplish this goal, but it basically is having no filler material. 0 filler material. It's great. Iñaki Zabaletas talks about this in his Penguin lecture, outstanding Penguin lecture, and he says, he says that he heard this from another magician or read it in another magician's book, old magician. I don't remember exactly who this magician was. I'm sorry, but he says, my idea every time that I do a show is that every of my tricks should be closers or could be closers. I am not going to perform the trick as a closer. I am going to give the treatment of an opener, a middle piece, a closer trick. I am going to give that kind of approach to the effect, but the effect in itself could be the closer of a show. That's his way of thinking, right? And Hamilton is 100% that. The first time that I saw Hamilton on television, I was like, oh my god, that's a great opening, yeah. And then you go to my shot, which is for me one of the best songs of the musical, and you're like, this song is outstanding. And then you go to the next piece and it's like, oh, this is very funny. And the next song, and the next song, and you're like, oh my god, how is it possible that so many songs are so good? It's unbelievable. And I have heard from Lin-Manuel Miranda himself, I have heard some rap pieces, some songs that didn't make it into the musical. And you are like, this is also a masterpiece. You have songs that you wrote for the musical that are not in the musical, that would be like the #1 song in most musicals across the globe. It is unbelievable. And we magicians, a lot of the times we see a trick and we are like, okay, this is fine. We put it inside the case and we perform it just like that. We need to have no filler material. That's the only way that we can make it. We should have, as I said before, different moods. Like we go up, we go down, we need some kind of low point to get a feeling when we are going towards the end of the show. But that doesn't mean that the routines that you do when you are going low, they also have to be low in quality. No, there are good low key, low beat routines, and they are bad low beat, slow, sentimental pieces in a magician's show. So yeah, that's basically it. I have, as I always explain, 5 fixed shows, and every 5 years I go around to in those shows, and my goal is to have these 5 shows closest to perfection as I can, right? It's like if I can change a line a bit, moving 2 tricks around from show to show, or in the same show in the different positions, I want these shows to be perfection. And if I achieve a career in the magician industry where I can perform only 1 show, I can take these 5 shows that are closest to perfection as I can, and now from those 5 shows I take the best of them. So it's like la crème de la crème, as French people would say, right? So this is exactly what Lin-Manuel Miranda did in the span of years for the Hamilton musical. That's why it is so successful. This is not a guy that wrote a couple of songs and was very lucky. No, this is a guy that was changing note by note, song by song, character by character. This is going here, this song is going here, this song is out of the musical, and that's how you achieve perfection. Okay guys, so I hope that you found this information useful. If you haven't seen the musical live, or I would love to see it live sometime, seeing the musical, watching the musical live, or on Disney Plus, please do, you are not going to regret it. And guys, I will see you, as always, in a near future. Bye there!